What happens if I don't have an estate plan in California? Why should I have one? What are the effects of dying without an estate plan? And what are some common things to look out for when creating an estate plan? Those are questions I often get as an estate planning attorney. My name is Ian Wu. I work at Goyette, Ruano, and Thompson in the estate planning department. And today we're gonna go over the basics of why it's important to have an estate plan, what happens if you don't have one, and what are some common things to look out for when creating one. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and be sure to continuously check out our channel because we're gonna come out with all sorts of new estate planning videos and topics for you to learn more. So if you die without a will or a trust in California and your assets don't have a transfer on death or a beneficiary designation, those assets would likely be subject to probate, which is the court oversight of the distribution of those assets. The court would use a formula to decide where those assets go, known as the intestate succession. Those assets might be locked in a probate proceeding for a long period of time, and it could cost a lot of money, whether that be in attorney's fees, whether that might be in getting the property appraised and executor fees or administrative fees. The idea is to make sure that there's a plan for every asset, and the best way to do that is to get an estate plan and a trust set up, not only just to avoid those probate fees and to decide where your assets go, but also to plan for later in life. If in the event you are incapacitated, we wouldn't want additionally somebody to have to go get a conservatorship on you. It would be better to have somebody already designated to be able to handle those assets and take care of you, whether it be paying the bills, whether it be taking care of medical decisions or gathering medical information. A comprehensive estate plan is going to be key to protecting you later on in life and planning for the future. Many people think that when we talk about an estate plan, it revolves around where your assets go, how it's distributed, but it also encompasses these very important decisions such as who's gonna take care of children or minors, who's gonna take care of you later on in your life, who gets authorization to access your assets or your healthcare records. So an estate plan, or at least a good one, will be all-encompassing rather than just deciding where your assets go. So when we're talking about the most common mistakes I see in estate planning, and mind you, this list is not exhaustive, there are plenty of mistakes that can be made, but these are the most common ones that I see. The first mistake is not doing your estate plan or waiting too long to complete it. And the biggest problems with this is delaying on estate planning, thinking that you're too young or maybe it's only for the wealthy. The fact is that life happens. So sudden illness or incapacity, that can happen unfortunately at any time. And if that plan isn't there to provide, then it might be too late to do it, or you might need to go get a conservatorship, or someone might have to do that, which is a long and lengthy process to be able to take care of you. Additionally, if you don't do an estate plan and something were to happen resulting in death, you might be subject to that lengthy probate. We're looking at a lot of attorney's fees and a lot of time spent under the court's jurisdiction of distributing those assets. So doing estate planning is something you shouldn't wait to do. It's something you should be proactive about. The second most common mistake I see in estate planning is creating a trust but not funding it properly. Creating a trust is the first step, and it's a great step, but the trust needs to be funded properly. And that means moving real property into the trust. That means moving your bank accounts and investments accounts into the trust, making sure there are assets titled in the trust, because if you don't have them in the trust, your estate assets or assets that were never placed in the trust might still end up in probate. The third most common mistake I see in estate planning is not updating your estate plan regularly. And I'm not saying you need to go every single day or week and review your estate plan, but you definitely should review the terms of your trust, the terms of your will, maybe who your agents are for your healthcare directive or your power of attorney, maybe once every couple of years, or upon something significant happening, divorce, a child becoming an adult, maybe one of the trustees or people that you had put in place to be in charge of assets has moved out of the country, or no longer someone you can trust. Those are those major events you want to, that should spur you to take another look at your estate plan and think about updating it. Finally, the fourth most common mistake I see is not planning for incapacity. And what that means is oftentimes people come to me and they say, Ian, I've got an estate plan, let's take a look at it. I'm at the point in my life where I'm gonna need maybe my kids to take care of me. And that's a totally normal and common thing to happen. But oftentimes when I look at their estate plan, what I might see is they did a trust, they did a will, but they might not have done a healthcare directive or a power of attorney. And you wanna make sure that all your bases are covered. The last thing you'd want is for a kid to need to get your medical information or communicate with a doctor and to kind of get locked out of that. Oftentimes a healthcare facility or a hospital might have their own standard healthcare form or healthcare directive form for you to fill out, and that's totally fine. But you can be proactive and you can have one done on your own, and they should honor that as well. So not planning for incapacity is definitely something that you should avoid. A good estate planning attorney, wherever you go, should cover all those bases. You want to cover healthcare, financial, power of attorney, you want to cover a trust and a will. So planning for incapacity is definitely something you don't want to overlook in estate planning. Those are the most common mistakes I see being made in estate planning. Again, that list is not exhaustive. We'll make some future videos talking about some other mistakes we commonly see, but I hope this video hasn't freaked you out, but instead inspired you to take a look at maybe making an estate plan if you don't have one, or maybe taking a second look at your estate plan if you do have one. Again, my name is Ian Wu with Goyette, Ruano, and Thompson. It's been a pleasure. Reach out to us if you have any questions, like and subscribe. We got more videos coming out along the way. As always, stay safe, stay protected, and you can do so by staying prepared.